Well, today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth and hopefully final chapter of the bump to bar rail. I think this is it. Episode 1, we got the framing for the kicker done. Episode 2, we got the framing for the flat section done. Episode 3, we got the sheeting with both the 3/4 inch plywood as well as the skate light done, which leaves us with chapter 4, which, in theory is the last chapter of this building project video. And that is the bar part of the bump to bar. The bump's done, we just need the bar. Oh, back to the drawing board we go. You guys remember, all right, this is the top, looking down from the sky, this is the top of the flat section of the bump to bar that we made, okay? And this is like the kicker, so you skate it going this way. The plan is to have a rail here and a rail here that forms it's called a bear trap. You can ollie up, grind this rail, and pop over, or you can just skate it as a gap and go over this rail here. We are making the rail interchangeable, so we can pull that rail out and add different attachments. I already have some really cool ideas for that, but right now, I'm having the dilemma of what we do for this rail. We can do exactly what I just showed, which is just a 90-degree rail. We can also try putting our fabrication skills and our tools to the test. Mainly, I was thinking this thing right here, which is the tube bender. This is actually a perfect example because we used it for the 30-foot rail right here to make that 90-degree bend right there. So instead of just a sharp right angle, we could do a 90-degree bend. I believe it's a 6-inch radius. And that would look more like that. Right? Something like that. And then we haven't even got into like the height of the rail yet, because that distance right there is really important. Saving that for later though. Right now I really just need to figure out the shape of the rail. So what we are going to do here is leave it up to you guys. That's how you spell option, right? It looks like onion. And then we get rid of that. Option 2 and something like, oh, that is so bad. You get the point. And take a picture of that. This project, as well as honestly the majority of my projects, was made possible thanks to the generosity and the support of my YouTube channel members. And because of that, I am going to give those channel members the power to decide what we move forward with. This is what I have so far. I'm not quite sure if you can read that, but it says, I need your help. I'm currently filming the 4th and final episode of the Bump to Bar project, and the only thing left to do is make the bar itself. I have to choose between a sharp 90-degree angle or a curved 90-degree bend for the elbow of the rail, if that makes any sense. I'm torn between which I want to do, so I'm leaving it up to you to help me decide. And then I have a poll with those photos that we just took. And I'm making this post viewable for my tier 2 and up members. And now we post, and now we wait. If you're interested in supporting me and the projects and this channel and getting access to the membership tab and all that behind the scenes stuff, I will have a link in the description. Whenever I do mention channel memberships, I do want to kind of reiterate the fact that at the end of the day, it is a way to support me and my channel and the projects that we work on. Like I said, I do my best with the perks offered because there's 3 tiers. Each tier offers different perks. I do my best to make those appealing and beneficial, but again, at the end of the day, it is a way to support me and my YouTube channel. So thank you to my current channel members for making the Bump to Bar possible. We got everything we needed and we're getting it done today, and that's all thanks to you guys. So I really do appreciate the support. As always, I got a link in the description of this video if you want to check out, the tiers that I offer and the perks available. So now we wait. Oh boy, this is a tough one. Keep in mind, it's only been about 15 minutes. Voting wise, in terms of number of votes, option 1, which is the sharp 90-degree elbow, is winning. In comments, however, the bent elbow is the fan favorite. Andy Skate says, I think visually you'll fall in love with option 2. Techno Bacon says, I'm gonna go with sharp bend because we haven't seen the tube bender used in a while, so it'd be fun to do something with it again. Sharp bend. Okay, yeah, so that's still the bend. Paradox 413 says, I think 2 will look better. So 100% of the comments are for the bend, whereas 80% of the votes are for the sharp angle. Now, I just thought of something that I didn't think about until just now. With the sharp 90-degree turn, the rail goes, stops, changes directions, goes, right? I mentioned earlier that the tube bender, the die that I have, has a 6-inch radius, right? So that is a 6-inch radius there. Imagine this 90-degree bend on that corner there. We're gonna lose, I don't know what the math is there, but like 4 inches of grindable rail. So if we do the bend, the rail goes, and then right there, the bend starts, and then goes. We're losing, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of grindable rail that we're sacrificing for that radius there. And so far with the build, my biggest concern is that that's not gonna be long enough to grind, and I really don't wanna remove another couple of inches of grindable rail. Because this is only 4 feet. With a rail here, you're gonna be getting on there. You're only gonna have 2 feet of grinding, and if we do the bend, that's minus 5 inches, you have like 1.5 feet. I know it's still early in that members only poll, but I think I am gonna go with the popular vote as opposed to the popular comments. I do, though, 1000% agree that the bend would look better visually, but at this point, I'm going for skateability. I will say, though, that because the rail is going to be removable, we will be using the bender to make something. One of the additional attachments that we'll be making, because I want to make like an arsenal of plug and play rails that we can drag and drop into mounting holes on that thing. Again, I got some really cool ideas for that. If there is one thing that I've learned in this entire 4-part series that we've done so far, it is that I need to measure not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times before I cut stuff, because I keep making mistakes. So first up, we need to figure out where we are cutting this tubing. All right, so with this all the way butted up against it, and we're going with the 45 degree cut that way, and then another one going this way. Again, triple check, quadruple, quintuple checking. This should be 6 feet exactly, yes. I want my cut to be 3 inches back, because that's 1.5 times 2, which will make sense later. And that would put us at 69, nice. Marking 69 on the dot. Now, you're probably wondering, Garrett, why 3 inches back? Let me explain. I mentioned that I wanted all of the rails to be removable and interchangeable. And the way that we're doing that, this is a side view of the top of the ramp. So the rail would mount like that relatively. And the way to get it to be interchangeable is we drill holes in the actual wood itself, similar to that where the tube would go underground, like inside the obstacle. So here's the bottom of the rail. There's gonna be a circular plate, and then the tube continues on down. All of this is underground inside of the obstacle. It rests on that metal plate right there, and then goes up, and that's the rail. Makes sense? Maybe a little bit. So this plate right here is just a circle, and I was gonna use the exact same dimensions that I used for these, because I think they look great proportionately and everything, and that is 1.5 inches from the tube to the outer ridge. From there to there, 1.5 inches. So we have that big old circle that's gonna go right there, right? I want the edge of that circle, right, that's gonna go right there, I want that 1.5 inches from any edges, just so it's not like a little sliver that can chip away and disintegrate. 1.5 inches in from the edge, and then 1.5 inches to the actual tube itself. I'm explaining this to you for 2 reasons. One is to just explain it to you, and the other is to talk through it in my head to make sure that it actually makes sense. And I think it does. So what we're doing here is we have that mark that we just made, which is 3 inches inlaid from the 6-foot width of the obstacle. Oh, I really hope this makes sense. And we take this over to the chop saw, angle that at 45 degrees, have the end of it be on that, and then chippity choppity, pippity poppity. Really hope that I did that right. Let's find out. Okay, so far it looks good. Line this up against the back there. The point of this should be 3 inches from the edge, and we're at like 2.25. So we can take off another 3/4 inch. That's about 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't have to be perfect either, it's just relatively close enough. It's melting my gloves, okay. Alright. Butt it up against the edge there. How we looking? Perfect. On the money. There's 3 inches right there. And then this one is gonna weld up at that 45-degree angle. Alright, and then we gotta find the right length right there. Change of plans. Before we find the right length for this one, I just want to get this welded up so that we have that perfect 90-degree angle. I also think that'll make measuring easier because cutting this one to length is just a straight cut. We don't have to angle it or anything. Get that welded up, put it in place, and then just chop the remaining. Before fully welding it, because it really has to be a perfect 90, and I have that little magnet there, but I just want to tack it in place, triple check before fully welding it. Alright, let's triple check that. Alrighty, come to Papa. Perfect, 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 perfect. Hey, how's it going? Made sure to measure this too, right? So 3 inches all the way through to the end there, 3 inches. And we come over here to this side, boom, 3 inches all the way down and 3 inches. That is literally perfect. Also, I can go through and mark right on that line too to snip that off. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is simply for aesthetic. So that's definitely close enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up first. God, I'm just gonna get to cutting, bro. This is clearly the proper way to mount everything. We only do things the right way here. We are done with that. This is now perfectly cut to length. Now we're gonna go through, weld all that up, grind it off, make that pristine and looking good. And then the legs, not really looking forward to that for a couple reasons, but we're not there yet. Okay, so far, everything's going good. And usually when everything goes good for too long, something bad has to happen. But no, I mean, check this out so far. I grinded down the 90 there, right? So everything's looking good. No porosity, no air bubbles, none of that. And looks like a pretty solid corner. Yes, I mean, it's gonna be a little too late if it somehow doesn't fit now, but I wanna give it one last test fitment and just see how it looks now that we cut it to size too. Oh yeah, sick. That right there is gonna be the bar to the bump to bar. Obviously elevated, but there it is. My brain has been braining on all cylinders, trying to figure something out. We are at the point in the project where it's time to make the legs for the bar to mount onto the actual bump to box to bar thing. Circling back to this beautiful diagram, remember the whole insert thing that I was talking about earlier? I got a comment from LopWidth7343 that says, in my opinion, you're gonna need metal inserts, like the barracks rail used to be if you want swappable rails. Otherwise, they'll be too unstable and the wood will not last either. I agree. I actually responded and I said, yeah, I think you're right. I might try my luck without them at first and just do directly into the wood, but after some wear and tear, I think I'll need to add them. I think I'm not gonna do what I said, and I think he's right, or she. Here's where my brain gets to churning. Funny he mentioned the barracks rail, because this is the actual rail from the barracks, and I had to chop what he was talking about because we mounted it directly into the concrete. I could have kept it here, but that was a long time ago, and I had no idea what I was doing, so whatever. I actually have this right here, which is the perfect diameter to perfectly sleeve into the 2-inch. Right? Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, well, I have to go in there with a grinder and clean up the burrs on it, but that telescopes in perfectly. That's why I have this right here. Originally, with version 1 of the Garrett's 4-stair rail, I tried just doing it directly into the wood, and it was just a little too, like, soggy and squishy. We are going to use this, and I'm going to put my fabrication skills to the test into making one of these, like, sleevable metal insert things. But I wasn't prepared for this, and now I need to use my brain again. So this is how I see it. We need multiple pieces here, and I'm gonna do my best to draw them out. This is just the 2-inch tube, right? That's the normal leg that we've been using for all the rails we make. We're gonna notch this using the tube notcher, and the rail is gonna sit in that. All this is not new information. That's what we've been doing before. On the bottom here is where things get interesting. We're gonna have to use the CNC plasma table to cut out that circle I was talking about. Weld the circle to the bottom of the tube, and then on the bottom of the circle, we need that smaller diameter tubing, and this is, honestly, I don't know the diameter of it, but we're doing smaller. 2-inch, smaller, and then the circle in the middle separating them. All of this right here, we need 3 of those for the 3 legs on the bump to bar. But then we need kind of the opposite of that for this to like lock into, and these are gonna be in the bottom of, or the top of that, I think. So this is now the 2-inch tube. This is another circle, right? And then these are gonna kind of like sandwich into each other. This is mounted into the box. This is the rail itself. And then this is gonna go boop and penetrate that, and that's gonna, dude, these drawings are insane. They always turn out insane, but they make sense to me. Now, translating this into actionable items. The height of the rail, I want it to be the same as the flat bar that we tested out, mounting it on there, which is 1 foot. It's low, it's small, but it's supposed to be fun and mellow. Which means we need this right here is going to be 11 inches, because when we notch it, we're notching an inch out of there, and the 2-inch pipe, or the 2-inch tube, is gonna go on top of that, making it a total of 12 inches. And we need 3 of those, okay? For this plate, this one's super simple. It's literally just a circle, and the diameter of that is 3.5 inches, because remember, 2-inch tube goes inside of it, or on top of it. We want 1.5 inches there, 3.5 inches. We only need 1 of those. Now this one, there's a little hole in the middle because you gotta insert, you gotta penetrate, right? So here we need another 3-inch diameter circle, but now you have a 2-inch cutout in it. We're actually gonna make this like 2.1 inches because we need a little bit of tolerance to allow for imperfections with the plasma cutter. That looks crazy. And we need 1 of those. That, and oh, this and this. This we can do, okay, boom, boom. That's just going to be a 5-inch section of the 12, nope, of the 2, where'd it go? 2 inches, 5 inches long, and we need 3 of those because we have 3 of these. Oh wait, we have 3 of these. Oh no, we need 3 of those. I feel like, actually like a mad scientist. Either that or just completely delusional, one of the two. Okay, 3 of those, 3 of those, 1 of those. No, we don't need 1 of those. We need 3 of those. 3, 3, 3, 3. We need 3 of everything. There's 3 legs. And this right here. Boom, 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 boom. This is the smaller tubing, also doing 5 inches. We need 3 of those. That is it. Mad scientist Garrett, complete. This is everything we need. This is one of the crazier ones. This looks... Can you decipher it? You can. It makes perfect sense. So, that was a lot. Whether or not any of this makes relatively any sense to you doesn't really matter because I think it makes sense in my head and I think it'll work. That being said, I'm sick of talking. I want to get this done. All I have to do is everything I just explained. This is where I locked in right here. Let me tell you, that whiteboard may look like gibberish to a lot of you. It is gibberish, but it really does make perfect sense in my head. It's like having the parts list essentially. I just like strapped on. Nope, that's not the right word. I locked in and just got to getting everything cut to size. Everything ready. This is me measuring out the smaller diameter tubing to make the inserts for the removable legs. This will all make sense in the end, I promise you. And here's me testing it out. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, I can say that this definitely took longer than I thought. Like, I thought this was going to be like 30, 45 minutes. This was over 2 hours of footage that I just chopped up for this voiceover. A lot of my math was wrong. Although the whiteboard was very helpful, a lot of the math was wrong. You can see here, I originally cut the wrong size circles. If you look at that whiteboard for long enough, you can see a lot of flaws. But we got everything done. We got all the parts we needed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be all the parts that we need. We check those off, and that's everything. Dude, it's literally 4:27 p.m. and the sun's gonna be gone in like 30 minutes. I don't understand daylight savings. I don't get that. It had to do with like farming back in the day, right? Anyway, we are on a severe time crunch now because I don't know how much we can get done before dark. Went through and cleaned up all the edges with a flap disc, got rid of all the burrs and everything from the plasma cutter, and just got everything weld ready. We made that. I don't know if you can understand it yet. Essentially though, I put those 4 holes in the plates so that I can much easier center stuff when I weld them on, if that makes any sense. So then that goes there, and then one of these big ones goes there, right? Are you seeing it yet? Does it make sense yet? And then this goes in the bump to bar. This is attached to the rail right there. Imagine this all welded together. It's gonna be very sketchy because it's not welded together, but then boom, it slips in, and that's the insert that he was talking about. The reason I X'd that one out is because I think we can get away without it and just mount these in the bump to bar box. Use some like Gorilla Glue or something, because this is 2-inch, so we'd go through with a 2-inch hole saw, drill a hole, and then just stick those inserts in and glue them in. They don't have to be pretty, they just have to hold. Dude, I can't believe the sun's setting already. That's insane. All right, come on, Garrett, what do we gotta do? Next step is going to be notching these, because those are gonna go there. Well, not actually there, on the bottom of it, but we gotta notch these. I don't know how I didn't notice it, but these are somehow different lengths. I think I did 6 inches here, 5 inches here. They're both supposed to be 5 inches. It doesn't matter at all, I just noticed that. But to notch these, we gotta mark 1 inch down, because we will be putting the 2-inch tube on it, and that should come out to 1 foot altogether. Damn, dude, I'm really not sure if we're gonna be able to finish today because of the sunset. There's one. God, I love this tube notcher, dude. I'm so glad to be upgraded from that cheap Harbor Freight one. No Harbor Freight shade. I love that store, but this thing's a beast. And of course, get it all goobed and lubed up. A lubed tube is a happy tube. Ah, it's a beautiful sound, isn't it? The sun's setting fast, dude. I gotta hurry. Third and final one. I'm gonna go clean these up and get them ready to weld. Nearing the finish line, kinda, sorta. We can finally get to welding at least. I need to, try to get it done quick, but I also have to make sure that I don't rush it and make mistakes. Okay, so the direction of the notch does not matter yet because we're mounting it on a circle. I made that mistake one too many times. These magnets are too big. That's why we have the little baby magnets. Using our ingenious little centering method, which I'm very proud of, I will admit. Plop our magnets in there. All right, and there you have one. Again, I'm tacking everything on. I don't think we're gonna finish tonight, unfortunately. I really don't want to rush it, so I'm just gonna tack weld everything and get everything like lightly mounted, and then I think, in the next video we're gonna have to fully finish this thing. All right, see? Do you understand it yet, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? Okay, 2 more of those. Okay, change of plans. First of all, it is literally 5:15 and it's dark. I hate that. The sun is just gone, and it's 5 o'clock. That's crazy. Anyway, I used my brain for once, and I'm glad. Also, this is why we tack weld things instead of go all in. So I was looking at this, right? After I filmed that last clip, I was looking at what we accomplished here, and let's play a game. It's like those kids shows where it's like, do you see the problem? No? How about now? Okay, do you get it? Remember that this is gonna be embedded in the wood and this is sitting on top of it, right? Well, when we weld that smaller 1 3/4 inch tube to this plate, we're gonna have weld like buildup, whatever it's called, god damn it. And you can see when we rest it on there now, it doesn't sit flush, and it's gonna be just ugly and uneven and just not pretty. Can you see like what I'm talking about? That big old, I guess not big, but like 1/4 inch gap right there. So I got to thinking, and I feel like a genius right now, let me tell you. I went through that sound that kind of sounds like someone's peeing behind the camera. I'm draining the plasma table again because I went through and I made these. And what are these, you may ask? A glory hole? No. This is my new creation, okay? Big 2-inch tube right there. It interlocks. We can go in 1 inch, which it's kind of serendipity because remember I accidentally made these 1 inch too long. Now we can go in 1 inch and it's perfect. And then, but wait, there's more. This goes over that, right? Magnet to make sure everything stays flush and level. And then we leave a super tiny gap, right? Something like that. And then we weld it from the top, and that's gonna melt all 3 of those pieces together and leave the bottom super clean with no weld marks to interfere. Are you following? Doesn't really matter. I figured it out. Oh, and I'm glad I figured that out. So we're gonna cut that one that I just tack welded and go with this method. Oh man, okay. Freedom! All right, we have our pieces back. And that is why you tack weld things. Do you see this crazy contraption? There's an itty bitty little gap, I don't know if you can see it, between the plate and the tube, so it exposes that tube, because the goal is to melt all 3 of these together, not just this tube and that plate. So there's a little gap there, which means that they should all fuse together. And damn it, I need a bigger gap. I was afraid of that. I put too little of a gap in between there so it didn't reach. A little bigger gap, let's try that again. I had to have penetrated there. There's no way I didn't. There we go. No rotation, no spinning. We managed to get all 3 of them fused together there. And yeah, time to do that 2 more times. All right, this one is done. I'm fully welding them now too, and see how clean the bottom is. So there's gonna be no interference. Same thing with this one, and I have this little handy dandy tool, which is gonna make sure that we are at 90 degrees when we weld it on. And then I sort of did a little whoopsie here, and I forgot that one of them is mounting on the actual 90, so I had to go through and notch it again so that it fits on that corner there. I think the only thing I gotta worry about is pushing this back 2 inches so we have that leeway for this. Honestly, I mean, I'm just gonna run it. All right, do we see if it stands up now? Oh man. Yo! Oh, I just slipped on something. That's a bump to bar rail right there. Dude, I mean I made that. Yo, this is pretty good, dude. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, to toot my own horn. Look at this. Whoa. All right, it is pitch black outside now, but I want to set this up on the bump before fully welding it all. Wow, it's dark out there. Can you see it? Because I sure can't. I just need to make sure, obviously they're not embedded yet because we haven't drilled the holes, but I just gotta make sure everything looks like it's gonna sit right before I go through and weld them up. But I mean, dude, that is a goddamn bump to bar, baby. Oh, we did it. I wish it wasn't dark out right now. I don't care how late it gets, we're finishing this tonight. Let's finish welding these up. I am so beat, dude. I feel so grimy. In a good way, though. It's like a very satisfying, like, successful grimy. But, dude, we did it. I was gonna say I did it. This was a group effort. Bad news, though. I thought I had a 2-inch hole saw. I don't. I have the one for the tube notcher, but that's like a really nice metal hole saw that I just don't want to use. I definitely thought that this was a 2-inch wood hole saw, but it's not. I think it's 2.5 inches. So this will not work, which unfortunately means we are done for the day, and this will be a 5-video series, not a 4-video series. But dude, I mean, this is the coolest thing I've made so far. At least the most, like, intricate. I utilize the most things. I'm proud of it is what I'm saying. I did go through and grind down the welds on both sides just to kinda clean it up. I don't usually do that, but I went over it with this thing just to smooth everything out. But yeah, I mean, my welds are getting better. They're still not good by any means. Like, I'm doing these cylinders and stuff in quarters. So I go like 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can definitely still see like the pause marks, if that makes any sense. But they're definitely getting there. Pristine on the bottom, and you can see by the heat soak there that we got some good penetration. I did have to do a little bit of patchwork on the 90 degree, because if you remember, I notched it just like I did these, so I went all the way through, completely spaced on the fact that there was gonna be one that needed a half notch there and a half notch there, so I had to patch it up on the backs, but we grinded it down. I mean, it looks fine. It's a skate rail at the end of the day. Dude, I'm very proud of this, to be honest. We've come a long way. Bro, do you remember the first rail that we made? I guess that was what, 2 or 3 months ago now? the penis foot rail. I still have the remnants of it, but we have come a long way since this thing, dude. Like, these are like borderline legit obstacles, man. Or I guess this is just one thing I'm talking about, but maybe I'm overly hyping myself up here, but I'm proud as hell of this. Proud as hell. I'm so tired. Oh, my baby. Look at this thing. You guys getting sick of me showing it off yet? Tomorrow is finishing day. Tomorrow we're getting a 2-inch hole saw. We're drilling into the bump to bar. We're putting the 2-inch inserts in there, gluing those in. And I guess while I get the hole saw, I can get some paint so we can paint the skate light and make it a uniform color. Not gonna say we did it yet. We are not done, and I can definitely still mess the whole thing up. If those holes are off, we're screwed. But so far this is going pretty goddamn good. Anyway, I wanna go shower and go to sleep, to be honest. So thank you to everyone here, but to my channel members for supporting me through these journeys and these ADHD side quests that I find myself on. For real though, bro, like I'm so much happier with just the way everything's been going these past couple of months, and you guys are to thank for that. Okay, see you guys next video. Peace out.